A flowing Metroidvania with pulsating aerial combat, powerful mystical abilities, and a gorgeous hand-drawn art style set in an interconnected world of myth that may just fill the void of waiting for the hallowed Silk Song. This is Bow, Path of the Teal Lotus. Being published by Humble Games, the same company that brought you Unsighted, Moonscars, Signalis and Temtem, the indie title is being developed by Squidshock Studios. The team successfully crowdfunded the game on Kickstarter, and it's only their second release after Fox Phrase, a mobile word game. The dev is in unfamiliar territory here, so how can we be sure Bow, Path of the Teal Lotus will be worthy of our time and precious money? From the trailers, it's apparent we're in store for a fluid, dynamic platformer adventure game with an adorable looking protagonist that I'm going to need a plushie of ASAP. The world around our hero looks stunning too, with dazzling rainbows, giant kendama, and picturesque streets to explore. And there's even an NPC dog to cuddle with? Speaking of NPCs, there's seemingly no shortage of delightful characters, including an axolotl and a literal sushi chef. Make of that what you will. The combat looks thoroughly satisfying, with slashes, spins, and slams, and the ability to summon a giant Daruma. Then there are air dashes that will no doubt tie into the game's traversal as much as the battles. At this point of the video, I have to admit I'm not really a Metroidvania fan. I've dabbled in Metroid Dread and Castlevania's Symphony of the Night. I've tried Ori and the Blind Forest, Dead Cells, Carrion, Blasphemous, and even the deified Hollow Knight, but something about 2D exploration just leaves me cold, alone, confused, and generally disconnected. Sorry, I thought I was talking about my love life for a moment. Despite these games all having their own enchantingly unique art styles, for me, they tend to feel a bit too Metroid-samey. Let's hear it for the worst pun in history, folks! And speaking of the worst, the best way to avoid that label is to give this video a like and subscribe to the FTS channel. We make great content all the time, and if you like what you see here, there's a lot more you really don't want to miss out on. Now, why am I so keen on Bow, Path of the Teal Lotus? It's a side-scrolling Metroidvania, right? And I just said that even incredible visuals won't keep me playing games within the genre, didn't I? Well, at the risk of disregarding everything I just said, the style of Bow is the most appealing of any Metroidvania I've ever seen. Hand-drawn and inspired by Japanese folklore, I am a weeb and I am not ashamed. The Okami-esque aesthetic calls to me like a siren, only this time, I'm sure there's a happy outcome to be had. Although now I think about it, that's how sirens make everyone feel, so that's kind of a terrible analogy, but I'm too lazy to write another one, so we move. When a game world looks this good, I find I'll tolerate being out of my comfort zone a lot longer than usual. It's the same reason the likes of Bloodborne and Elden Ring got their punishing hooks into me. Then there's the combat, which looks to have a bit of Hollow Knight energy to it, and we can all agree that's a mighty fine thing, with the dashes and attacks looking as dynamic as they do deadly. I know I said I bounced off of Team Cherry's title, but that wasn't because of the combat, and for what it's worth, I often think about going back to it. Should I finally reinstall? Let me know in the comments. Another thing that appeals to me about Bow is the character design. I mentioned a few already, but I barely scratched the surface. While the promo materials show a range of critters, with some likely being bosses, there's no weak link among them from an appearance angle. Set against the numerous various backdrops, hinting at a plethora of locations to delve into, each fiend or foe is as pleasing on the eye as the last. Honestly, if they release an art book for this game, that's a day one purchase for me. Regarding the in-game locations, from the towns to the dungeons, I need to experience this world for myself, even if it means embracing the dreaded side-scroller way of life. Who knows, maybe this is the game that finally converts me. Lastly, there are the potential boss battles. The game's Steam page describes them as massive, awe-inspiring monsters drawn from Japanese folklore, saying players will need to call upon all the knowledge and acrobatic skill you've gained to vanquish these powerful adversaries and advance further in your quest. I think all Souls-like fans can agree that bosses can be the difference between a great game, like Dark Souls 3, and a not-so-great game. I'm talking about you, Dark Souls 2. Yes, I don't like Dark Souls 2. Why does anyone like Dark Souls 2? It's weird, it's just... forget it. For now, though, we'll have to wait and imagine what these roadblocks will be. Overall, I can't wait for Bow, Path of the Teal Lotus. From its art style, variety of areas, and compelling combat, I just know this is the best chance I'll ever have of truly loving a Metroidvania game. And even if I'm wrong, and I can't reconcile with 2D exploration, then I'll still sleep soundly if you enjoy what this indie game is serving up. The game releases July 18th, 2024 on PC, Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 5, and Xbox Series XS. Thank you for watching, I've been James, this has been FTS, and you've made my day by sticking with me until the end.